Hello and welcome everybody. In this lesson, we will discuss the general importance of the field of psychology. We have already understood the different fields or the different areas where psychological knowledge can be applied or where psychological knowledge can be put to use for the benefit of people. This lesson we'll talk about the general importance of psychology or the benefits of studying psychology for you and for others around you. So, the first benefit of studying a subject like psychology is that it offers solutions to various problems. So, psychology solves various problems, it offers us solutions to many problems. We have already understood the field of psychology, which is called clinical psychology, and also another field which is called counseling psychology. Now, what is a clinical psychologist doing and what is a counselor doing? They both are solving problems of life. Counselor is solving problems of everyday life, whereas a clinical psychologist is trying to solve a problem which manifests itself or which expresses itself in the form of a psychological disorder. So, both clinical psychologists and counselor are in the process of solving problems or offering us solutions to problems which are either simpler problems like everyday life problems or severe problems which are called mental disorders. So, primary goal of psychology is to offer solutions to problems which may occur at different levels. So, the first level at which problems may arise and solutions may be sought is at the level of the person. These are the problems which exist at the level of the person. So, a person might be having some kind of a problem which may be either a day to day life hurdle, for example, choosing the correct stream in class 11 or maybe after class 12 deciding upon a career, or they may be severe problems, for instance a disorder like depression or anxiety. So the problem might exist at the level of the individual. Some of the examples of individual level problems or personal problems, as we call them in day to day language, are low academic performance, lack of confidence, stage fright, or problems which are linked with people around. So, some people have this problem of social anxiety where they feel afraid or they feel anxious when they are in social situations or in situations involving people. So, the first level at which problems might arise is the level of the person. The second level is the family. So, problems may come up in families. A family might be undergoing some stressful situation like an economic problem or an economic crisis. The family might be undergoing some relational problem, for example, not a very congenial relationship between the parents within a family, or the family might be undergoing a problem which is intergenerational. For instance, the parents do not have good relationship with their kids and that is creating problems. So families also have problems. Family as a unit can also have problems, and these problems can be solved, or the solutions to these problems can be sought with the help of psychologists. The third level at which problems may come up is at the level of community. So sometimes there are problems within communities. Communities are groups of people who have common interest or some shared goal. For example, you when where you live is a community of people. You all live together. There is a collection of people who are living together, who have a common supply of electricity, who have a common supply of water. The community that you are a part of at school is another community. That is another community. You all the students of the school together form a community. Why? Because they have the same goal. They all are coming to the school to gain education. They all are being taught by the same set of teachers. They all are following the same rules which the school follows. So, a community is a group of people who are bound by common rules and duties, and they have common goals. They have some commonalities between them. There might occur problems at the level of community. Now, problems at the level of community involve lot many factors other than psychology or psychological factors. So, the factors which contribute to problems within a community are of multiple nature. They are not only psychological factors. For example, if we were to take the same example as given in your textbook, the problem of terrorism. Now, the problem of terrorism is a broad problem. It involves so many problems at multiple levels. Terrorism is because of the economic compulsions of people. People get into terrorism because of economic compulsions. So there is an economic aspect to terrorism. Then there are political parties which fuel terrorism because they want to serve some interests, some vested interests. So they have some political groups or some political parties, they aggravate terrorism or they contribute to terrorism because terrorism helps them achieve their political gains. So the problem of terrorism is very complex, involving multiple contributory factors or multiple causes. Okay, if you take up another problem at the community level, which is communalism or disharmony between two religious groups within a community. This problem also is political in nature, to some extent economic in nature, and to a great extent psychological in nature. So, what psychology can do at this level, at the community level, is to create understanding about the psychological causes of problems like terrorism or communalism. We can contribute our bit to it, but of course we cannot solve such huge problems only through psychology. Such huge problems need to be solved by taking into account multiple perspectives, out of which political and economic factors are the major factors, major contributory factors, or major causes. So, psychology can only offer an understanding about problems which arise at the community level, for example, terrorism or communalism. Psychology cannot solve those problems. Psychology does not offer much solutions to these problems, but of course, psychology and psychological understanding offers an informed view or gives us an insight into the psychological nature of these problems. We cannot solve these problems as psychologists, but yes, we have a lot to offer in terms of human nature, basic human nature, and in terms of processes such as intergroup relations. So we can contribute our bit, but we cannot solve such problems which are too huge and involve multiple factors beyond the scope of psychology. Apart from solving problems, apart from giving solutions to problems, psychology also plays a major role in improving the quality of life of people in general. How do we do that? There are certain psychological insights, there are certain processes which help us improve as human beings, become more effective as human beings, which eventually leads to a betterment or improvement in the quality of our life as in whichever sphere of life we participate in. For example, if I work on my ability to handle stress, then I am better at handling stress, be it my workplace or be it my family or be it my personal life. So, when we talk about improvement of life, quality of life, we are talking about improving or working upon certain strengths and certain skills which, when learned and improved upon, can lead to a better quality of life and which will eventually lead to a better effective individual in whichever sphere of life the individual wants to participate in. Some of the examples of how psychology can improve the quality of life of people in general, popularly known as anger management or stress management or memory enhancement. So, these are some of the insights that psychology can give to people in terms of improving their quality of life. For example, memory enhancement. There are ways in which we can enhance our memory and we can be better at memorizing things or retaining things or storing things in our mind. And there are certain techniques which we use in psychology which are called mnemonics. These are the techniques, memory techniques, which when applied help the individual to retain stored information for longer hours and for in a better way, in a better organized way. So, mnemonics is one such technique which is used for memory enhancement. Similarly, we have something called anger management. So, there are some people who are not able to control their anger, manage their anger. So, what do we do with them? We try to impart skills to them, impart them, train them, make them aware of their anger, and make them aware of the techniques to handle this emotion of anger. Similarly, we have stress management. So, there are people who sometimes have a poor quality of life just because they are not able to manage their lives in a way that reduces their level of stress. So, there are techniques, habits, routines which may be taught to such people to improve their ability to manage their stressors or the ability to manage situations which give them stress. So, this is how psychology can contribute to improvement of quality of life. And it is a very obvious thing that if you improve the quality of life of one individual, that one individual will interact at many points with others. For example, if I work on my stress management, then I am better able to handle my stress both in my family and also at my workplace. So, my family and my workplace both become better places, happier places, and more harmonious places for me. So, similarly, if we can work on people, when these people collect together at workplaces or in families or in communities, we are working to improve the quality of life of communities, of families, and for different contexts together. Apart from the general application of life or the general importance of life in terms of one, solving day to day problems, and two, improving the quality of life of people in general, psychology also has certain areas of application which we have already learned in our previous lesson. And within these areas of application, psychology has an importance of solving problems and also offering insights about how to improve upon the quality of individuals within each of these areas. So, a clinical psychologist, as I told you in the earlier lesson, is not only concerned with diagnosis and treatment of psychological disorders but can also play an important role in spreading awareness about psychological disorders. And awareness goes a long way in lessening the number of problems, the number of cases of psychological disorders. So, spreading awareness about how to prevent psychological disorders, spreading awareness about how to handle psychological disorders if and when they come, is one of the contributions that clinical psychology makes. Similarly, counseling psychology, educational, developmental, social, and organizational, they all are different areas where psychological insights from psychological research and studies can be applied to improve the quality of life and also to solve problems. To quickly recapitulate what we have learned so far, psychology has multiple benefits. One, psychology offers solutions to various problems. Two, psychology improves quality of life. And three, there are multiple areas of life where psychology can be applied to solve problems of various kinds and also to improve the quality of life of people in general. So that is all for today's lecture. Thank you.